Okay, so you know how sometimes you see your partner talking to someone and you get that weird feeling? Or maybe they're spending a lot of time with someone new and you just, I don't know.
You start to feel a little uneasy.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little green monster is whispering in your ear. We're diving into jealousy today. How to spot it, how to tame it, all that good stuff.
And what we found in this advice column is actually really interesting. It's not about pretending jealousy doesn't exist, it's about understanding it.
Totally. So, first things first, the advice column is all about communication, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But what's their take on why it's so important when it comes to this green-eyed monster?
Well, think about it when we keep things bottled up. Those feelings, they kind of eat away at us, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
holding it all in just makes it worse.
Right. And this column emphasizes that. It's way healthier to just have an open, honest conversation. You can figure out what's going on, both of you, see each other's side.
And hopefully that builds some trust along the way, which is probably super important, especially if there's already some, you know, suspicion or hurt.
hmm
But rebuilding trust, especially after some jealousy's been stirred up, that can be a whole other beast.
Yeah.
What's the advice on actually making that happen?
Well, the column breaks it down into these core elements: honesty, transparency, being consistent. It's not always about these big, dramatic
Yeah,
gestures.
those can be kind of overwhelming anyway.
For sure. It's more about the little everyday things, like just being upfront about where you're going to be, who you're with, or owning up to your mistakes, taking responsibility.
Between promises, that's a big one.
Absolutely. Those things might seem small, but they add up to something really powerful, that foundation of trust. Now, the next tip, this is where I thought things got really interesting. It's about looking inward a bit.
Oh, how so?
It's easy to get caught up in the jealousy itself, right?
Hmm.
But this column, it's almost like they want you to treat that feeling like a warning light on your car's dashboard.
Okay, I like this analogy. So that jealous feeling is a sign that something else is going on.
Exactly. So let's say, your partner starts hanging out with this new person and you feel that pang of jealousy. Instead of just reacting to that feeling, take a second to actually examine it.
Like figure out what's really
Yeah.
driving it.
Yeah, like, is it because you've been betrayed before in a past relationship, so now you're extra sensitive? Or maybe you're just feeling a little insecure about yourself lately. Digging into those deeper insecurities can be so helpful.
It's like understand yourself first, and then you can address the situation better. Okay, love that. What's next on the list for taming the jealousy monster?
Well, the next tip is all about boundaries.
Ah, boundaries.
Oh.
Everyone's always talking about boundaries. But seriously, what do healthy boundaries actually look like, especially when you're dealing with jealousy in a relationship?
That's the thing about boundaries, right? They're not one size fits all. Every relationship is different, and the boundaries that work for one couple might not work for another.
True, true. So it's about finding that balance that feels right for both people.
Exactly. And it should be a two-way street, something you discuss together. When it comes to jealousy, maybe those boundaries involve being respectful when talking about exes or, being a little more mindful about interactions on social media.
It's all about finding that sweet spot where you both feel comfortable and respected.
Yeah.
Now, the last tip from the advice column is about focusing on self-confidence, which, it makes sense, but how does that tie into jealousy?
Well, if you think about it, when you truly love and value yourself, you're less likely to feel threatened by other people.
Oh, like you don't need constant validation from your partner because you've got that inner confidence already.
Exactly. It's about building yourself up so you're not looking for all your worth in the relationship. And that goes beyond just, how you look.
Totally. It's about so much more than that.
Absolutely. It's about pursuing those things you're passionate about, celebrating those small victories, even just being kind to yourself.
Yes. Surrounding yourself with supportive friends too.
Absolutely. It all ties into that self-love.
Wow, this has been a journey. Who knew jealousy was so complex? But seriously, these tips feel like solid strategies anyone can use to build a healthier relationship.
That's the thing, right? It's a process, not some overnight fix. But if you're willing to put in the work, the communication, understanding yourself, setting those boundaries, then it's like this advice column says you can actually use jealousy as a tool to grow, both as individuals and as a couple.
And isn't that what it's all about? Turning those tough moments into opportunities for something even stronger.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. Until next time.